Alright, Schlockmeister fans, by multiple requests, we're going to re-review Messiah of Evil, which was something I had on my previous channel on this cheap DVD with the Devil's Name. So it's Messiah of Evil. Let's check it out. The movie starts out with some guy who passed out in the street. Mariana Hill plays Arletty. She's searching for her father who's disappeared.
Then, after my mother died, he stayed, and his letters became our only contact until recently.
She's going to some town called Point Dune. At a local gas station, the guy takes a look in the back, and there's a couple of bodies. And there's that weird albino-looking man. Doesn't think much of it, though. A little while later, that gas station attendant has his life ended. She finds his, I think his studio or whatever, he's like a painter, and there's no dad. She finds his diary.
For 3 nights now, I haven't slept. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. The vision is coming from areas of my mind that I don't understand.
She knocks on a hotel door and then this.
I'm as old as the hills. Mama delivered me herself. She took me from between her legs. Bloody little mess. Just about to feed me to the chickens. And Daddy said, maybe we could use a boy, Lottie. That's how I came into the world.
She meets this guy named Tom who's
for my father.
living with 2 girls, Tony and Laura.
I know of him.
They told me at the gallery.
We drove by the gallery this morning. I happened to see his works in the window.
What about my father?
You have to kill him.
You're crazy.
You can't bury him. Don't put him in the ground. You gotta burn him.
He was mad.
Perhaps, but when they found him this afternoon, he was dead.
That's the crazy guy who was just talking.
Police came and questioned us. Needless to say, they weren't very understanding.
Now, this was Tom at the beach, and he saw some sort of, I don't know, a ritual or something going on there. The townspeople in this place, Point Dune, are really, really weird. Laura leaves the hotel room, and then that albino guy shows up.
Want to ride?
Well, she's gonna get in. Shows her a mouse.
I eat them. That's what I do with them.
Well, that's a little strange. She gets out, she heads into a grocery store, and everybody in there is eating the raw meat from the deli area. Until they see her. She's not getting out of that store alive. In fact, she's also not getting out of that store alive or uneaten.
Dear, why don't you both leave? Then maybe I could get a little sleep.
Arletty is now staying with Tom and Tony. Apparently her father's been found. He was building some sort of sculpture on the beach, and he got crushed by it.
And then people reported seeing him on the beach, building a huge sculpture. The tide must have collapsed it on top of him.
And yes, there's a body there.
Those weren't his hands.
She didn't see the whole body, but she knows that wasn't her
They were
dad.
coarse and large.
Anyway, back to Tony. She goes out by herself to go see Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye at the theater, and when she goes in, the lights go down outside. Other patrons in the theater start to get close to her, and then some weirdness. Well, it doesn't take long before they attack and eat her too. Tom is getting followed and attacked. Although he's going to get away. I'm not sure what to think of this scene. And it gets worse. Now here's an interesting scene. The police show up and shoot at all those patrons there, I think who were coming out of the theater. But then one of the cops is bleeding from the eye. And then they go and feed on that dead cop, including the other cop.
One of the bodies they killed up on the beach, but you still didn't leave.
That's her dad.
There's the time left. You'll have to go.
He's basically warning her to get the hell out of there. The story is told about a mysterious dark stranger who showed up here 100 years ago, and that's how it all started.
He looked as if he'd been attacked by some kind of animal, half-eaten.
Well, some paint spills on him, that's why he's blue, but he starts going after his daughter like he was going to eat her. So she gives him the scissors. Not dead yet, though. She remembered that crazy guy Charlie said you gotta burn him. If you love your daddy, you gotta burn him. Don't put him in the ground. Well, she remembered and listened. Meanwhile, Tom goes back, and Arletty's freaking out at this point. Thinks he might be a bad guy too, but he's not. But now he has a hurt arm. But they're not safe. They managed to escape out of there.
And then we saw the first one.
But the zombies aren't far behind. They were trying to wade into the water to get to a boat, but with his hurt arm, he drowned.
They hadn't let me drown. They had pulled me from the water. They had prevented my last escape.
And I think we're kind of led to believe here that she's in an insane asylum. Was it all in her head? Who knows? But that's our movie.
100 years ago.
Alright, let's talk about Messiah of Evil. This is one that I saw a long time ago, and I've seen it a couple of times over the years. It's a weird one, and I'm not sure exactly how to categorize this film. It stars Mariana Hill, Elisha Cook Jr. is in it, Roy O'Donnell. By the way, I showed you that clip of Elisha Cook talking about how he was born and bloody little mess, blah, blah, blah. I thought that's one of the most fascinating lines I've ever heard in a movie. In fact, I liked it so much that I went on IMDb and I added that as a quote for this particular movie. So if you see it on IMDb, that's because of me. So anyway, Messiah of Evil. Again, I don't know how to categorize this movie. This woman goes to this town, I think it's called Point Dune. She's looking for her father who's like disappeared. Her father's like a painter or an artist or something like that. And wherever she goes in town, she just comes across really strange people. And it's hard to explain. She finally meets some quote-unquote sane people, and even they're a little weird. This guy, Tom, he's living with these two women. Joy Bang is the actress who played one of them. You might remember her from Night of the Cobra Woman. But anyway, she keeps looking for her father, can't find him. Then eventually they find him on the beach, dead, like this big art display or something that he was working on crushed him. And then she's looking at his hands. That's all we can see are the hands. The body is like completely crushed. And then later on, she's like, those weren't my dad's hands, blah, blah, blah. So some of the officials are basically kind of telling her, you should get out of town. This isn't a tourist town, whatever. But she's convinced that wasn't her dad, so she's convinced something else is going on. And all around, we see weird people. Weird things started happening. We see this albino-like guy who swallows a mouse, or bites a mouse, I should say, eats it. This other woman goes into the grocery store, sees people eating the raw meat. They attack her. They kill her. They eat her. These are kind of like zombies. I don't know, but they're also like talking and stuff. So it's not like they're full zombies like, George Romero type zombies, but they're flesh eaters. Ultimately, she finds her father, and her father's been infected by whatever the hell else is going on in this town, and he tries to attack her. And she was warned earlier if she ever found her daddy, that she has to kill him, got to burn him. So she ends up burning him to death after he's covered with paint. And then she sees this guy Tom again, attacks him, but Tom is okay. They get attacked by some of these other zombie things, so they try to escape. They end up down on the beach, and they think they're okay, but then they start seeing the zombie people pop up again. And it's like they're even really pursuing them very fast. They're just kind of standing there ominously, which is creepy in itself. They run off into the water, and Tom apparently drowned. He'd been stabbed in the arm by Arletty, Mariana Hill's character, because she thought he may have been one of them at one point. So the last scene in the movie, she's painting, and she said something about how they pulled me from the water. I think she's talking about the townspeople, I don't know, but it seems like she's in some sort of mental institution or something like that. So I don't know what happened in this movie. Was this all in her mind? Did it really happen? Was she infected too at this point? I don't know. This movie could be open to interpretation as to what the hell is going on in this movie, because I don't quite get it. But I do know I like the movie. It's got a creepy, weird factor to it. It's hard to put your finger on it. It just has a good vibe to it. Creepy vibe. I like that. The atmosphere of this movie is really cool. I like it. So anyway, I have this cheap DVD here with Devil's Nightmare on it as well, which I think I reviewed on my previous channel. This was put out by Diamond Entertainment. Not the greatest quality. Now, I believe this has been re-released. I think Shout Factory did it. I'm not sure about that, but there's a good Blu-ray out there. It's getting a little pricey now, but there's a good Blu-ray of this movie now too. So that's what you can get if you're looking for it. So anyway, I'll leave a link to Amazon if you're looking to buy it, and I would recommend buying this one because it's a good one. It's just very strange. I'm curious what other people think about it. Tell me about it. Leave some comments. Let me know. It's Messiah of Evil. Watch it. Bye.